Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
I'm so excited that we're having the Kip and Russ Christmas Cantata today.
That's a musical, isn't it?
Yes. And I thought that you would start us off with.
I'm not going to tell you why because that might hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want to do that. But anyway.
How could you hurt someone's feelings about a cantata?
I love my mom.
Oh, yeah.
And she was always in the cantata.
Oh, well, yeah.
Which was a musical.
Yeah.
But her singing is not the best. But she is an excellent orator.
Oh, yes.
Orator. Yeah. She can tell a
story. So she narrated the story while they cantated.
She was the narrator. And I always thought it was kind of funny because she was in a musical, but her...
I always tried to participate, but the choir directors always told me, they said, Kip, we got a place for baritone, but we don't have a place for monotone. And
you and my mom could have.
She and I could have cantated together.
Co-narrations.
Would that if you plural a cantata, is that cantatas?
What is cantata? What's the origin of that word? Is that a Spanish word?
I don't know. It sounds Spanish, doesn't it? But I know it does mean like a medium-length musical.
Yeah, we'll both have the cantata. Two cantatas.
We'll
do
double our cantatas.
One of the rice and beans on the side.
We three kings of Orient are. You do the rest.
Traveling
east and west and
from afar.
Oh, are you going to see the star tonight? Tonight is the Christmas star.
I thought it was this morning. No,
tonight? No, you'll be able to see it tonight because I have actually because I like to stargaze. I have been observing Saturn and Jupiter getting closer and closer since probably September, October.
Yeah.
And you could watch them as the sky, each night they would just get a little bit closer. Jupiter is very bright. Saturn, because it's a little bit closer to Earth, but it's also huge. Yeah. And Saturn is a little bit further away. And so the Saturn is an extremely bright star. And Saturn is a really small star right above Jupiter. And tonight they'll probably look very close to each other, if not on top of each other.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see it probably after it gets dark, a little bit further to the west.
Is it southwest? That's what I heard.
Yeah, a little bit southwest. But as soon as it starts getting dark, you'll be able to see Jupiter and you'll see it.
And, I've got a telescope. I'm going to need that, right?
No, you can see with that. Yeah, you can see Jupiter and Saturn. You don't see the rings of Saturn, obviously. That you do need a telescope for that.
Can you see the rings with the telescope?
Yeah.
Big enough telescope. Probably not the one that I have.
I had it. Well, how powerful is your telescope?
$59.99 at the Discovery store. I don't know.
Okay. I'm not sure how the dollar value translates into the power.
Well, yeah, because you got like a $150 telescope, then you got like a $25 telescope. I'm like,
oh, you're medium range,
just above that $25.
Okay, you could probably see. You could probably see a faint outline of Saturn's.
It'll just look like I'm squinting my eyes, looking at headlights.
At billions and billions of miles away.
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it is. When you think about the rings of Saturn, what it amazes me is they're only like 30 feet thick.
Are those asteroid belts?
Around Saturn?
Yeah. Is that what the ring is?
It's actually ice.
Ice belt.
It's broken up into a bazillion pieces. And like I say, it's only 30, they say it's 30 feet thick. And of course it's pretty wide. And it's an amazing thing. It is amazing that you see that. So that's the big thing, besides the fact that we were singing We Three Kings, the Christmas star.
Oh, the Christmas star. So the Christmas star shone in the east. Why am I looking to the southwest?
Well, it's 2,000 years later, and the Earth changes its tilt a little bit.
And they weren't in North America; they were on the other side of the world. So they were looking to the east, and We would be
Well,
looking to the west.
Well, and plus you got to take into consideration that some of daylight savings time kind of wears on the rotation of the axis of the Earth and this.
Huh.
And you know, you got to take into account that the Earth is traveling through space around the sun, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
around 65,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We rotate 1,000 miles an hour, and while we're rotating 1,000 miles an hour, we're going around the sun at 65,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the sun is going through space.
You know, I've always felt faster when I was running towards the east.
Uh,
You know, when I'm running west,
You
I
just
feel
slow
like I'm
down.
lagging.
You slow yourself down,
I feel like I'm running in one spot.
which explains why when we ran track, we always ran counterclockwise
Huh.
because we were running to the east.
Yeah.
So that explains why you were so fast.
I didn't run track.
Oh, you didn't run track?
No.
Then,
No.
I was a speed demon myself.
Were you?
Oh yeah, I was fast.
Did you run track?
One time, and I used to be able to run fast backwards. I could run backwards. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Yeah.
Oh, and I needed to run fast backwards quite
It's like
often.
Mater from Cars. He was real fast back. Tow truck. Remember?
No, a Mater
Mater.
D,
Mater. Tow Mater.
Terminator.
Cars. Oh no. What was it? What was his name? The comedian. Larry the Cable Guy played him.
Oh, Larry the Cable. I'm sorry, I didn't watch
Sorry.
him.
No,
I
no.
didn't watch him.
I know.
It's-
Kids will make you watch stuff that you normally wouldn't or need to. But anyway,
A couple of weeks ago, you told me that a friend was talking to you about the West Florida Republic Rebellion. So I want to see what he told you. And then we'll both decide if he was right.
all right. I'm trying to remember the bullet points because I didn't.
Bullets were involved,
Yeah. Well,
but not many.
no, I didn't remember that. I just know that.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole trick of this. I don't remember any of it. You can say all of it because I can remember all I remember him saying is, that all happened right here. Like we're in the,
We're in the zone.
This was in the zone. The St. Francisville was the
It was
the hot spot.
It was,
not the capital.
but actually, well, the rebellion focused it formulated in the St. Francisville area, but it actually the battle took place in Baton Rouge.
Really?
You want to tell you?
Yeah. I mean, I think that
I think
everybody
people would be
here is
interested
going to
in
learn. I know because if this is anywhere close to the Battle of Athens, Tennessee.
Well, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
So
we'll see what it is.
we're gonna say that
no.
Kip's got another good story. Everybody grab some hot chocolate.
Yeah, wish I had some. You have your coffee?
I got some coffee.
Oh, look, that's booze.
It's not. It just looks like booze.
Oh, I thought you had some Christmas cantata music in your cup.
That was just in my
Yeah.
head.
Actually, I was intrigued when you mentioned a couple of weeks ago that this friend talked to you about the West Florida
Yeah.
Republic.
He's another friend. So what I do is I surround myself with people that are really smart, and I feel like that makes me.
then
That helps me.
You need to
become-
have me leave then.
No. Because this other guy that was talking to me about it, he's right up there with you. You guys actually should probably be talking. I don't know that I'm adding much to the conversation other than talking about DreamWorks cartoons.
Actually, he did call me, and we are going to.
There's going to be a third seat.
No,
There's just gonna
Well,
be-
actually, there's going to be two, but you're going to be sitting over there.
Oh,
And,
I'll just the peanut gallery.
yes, but we don't want
Yeah.
any comments from the peanut gallery.
I know.
But I've always liked local history, so I was kind of up on that because
Yeah.
I remember you were saying that you at the West Florida Republic. I said, yeah, I think that was around 1810, and it was 1810. It didn't last long, but you could go to the home, really the plantation home, still exists, where the leaders of the rebellion gathered and organized what they were going to do. The whole rebellion was based upon the fact that the Louisiana Purchase had taken place, and in the Louisiana Purchase, it consisted of New Orleans and going up the Mississippi, basically up the west coast of the Mississippi,
Okay.
all the way up, and then west toward the Rocky Mountains. That was the Louisiana Purchase.
Gotcha.
Spain believed that they maintained hold of what is the Florida, what we call today the Florida public, Panhandle of Florida, the Panhandle of Florida, all the way over to the Mississippi River.
Oh, so Mississippi, Alabama.
No, not Mississippi and Alabama. Mississippi and Alabama were actually considered part of U.S. territory after the Revolution, and but the Florida Panhandle, from the Spanish standpoint,
right?
They believed that it went all the way over from Pensacola to the Mississippi River, and Bayou Manchac was an international boundary. Which Bayou Manchac is just down the street.
It's still a state boundary.
It
separates the
parishes. Yeah. Well, 200 years ago, it was an international boundary because Spain was on one side.
Look at that, Bayou Manchac.
Bayou Manchac.
International.
Iberville, when he was discovering Baton Rouge back around 1699, he went down the Bayou Manchac, to Lake Pontchartrain to get back to New Orleans, and he met up with his brother Bienville, who was in New Orleans at the time. But to get back to the rebellion, the Englishmen, the Anglophiles, I guess, who were making up the population of West Feliciana today, East Feliciana, East Baton Rouge. I'm talking about the parishes today. They didn't exist as parishes back then.
Right, just the area.
Just the area. Tangipahoa Hope Parish, Livingston Parish, St. Helena.
Everything
from the Mississippi River to Pearl River.
So east of the Mississippi.
East of the Mississippi to Pearl River was considered the Florida Republic.
Yeah.
After the rebellion. Well, they did not want Spanish rule. Plus, they weren't really overly thrilled with the idea of being part of the United States.
And when you say they, where did they come from?
Well, it was the leaders of what would be the West Florida Republic. The Barrow family, which the Barrow family is still up in the West Feliciana area now. Fulwar Skipwith, who was the first governor and the only governor of the West Florida Republic.
There's a road down the street.
On Island Road, there's Fulwar Skipwith.
I know somebody that lives on that road.
I did too.
Interesting.
He was the only governor for the West Florida Republic because it only lasted a short period of time.
Yeah.
And anyway, they did not want to be ruled by Spain, and they really kind of didn't want to be ruled by anything in the United States. So they took it upon themselves to organize, and since most of these individuals actually experienced the American Revolution, decided it was time to revolt against Spain. That they were revolting basically against Spain.
Yeah.
And so in August, I think it was, of 1810, you have to look that up, I don't remember the date. Around August of 1810, they organized and decided that they were going to develop this revolution, and they formed a little militia, and out of the militia, they actually attacked the fort in Baton Rouge. I bet you didn't know Baton Rouge had a fort.
No, they attacked a fort that was held by a Spanish fort.
It was a dirt and wood star-shaped fort. You know where the Pentagon buildings are downtown?
Yep.
The Pentagon building just south of the Pentagon building, close to looking towards the river, was this star-shaped fort that was held by the Spanish, and not that many.
Right.
There might have been, if there were 25 soldiers there, that might have been it. But they attacked they came down from the north, obviously coming from
Came from the hills.
from the hills of West Feliciana,
Yeah.
and actually was Fulwar Skipwith. His plantation, his home, was in where Exxon is today.
Yeah.
Kind of in the northern part of where Exxon is on Bayou Mount. Monsanto? I think Monsanto Bayou goes into Mississippi, to the Mississippi, and I think his plantation was right around that Mount Sayat. I can't even pronounce it. Montesanto Bayou, I think, and so they came down, and they had about 50 militia, and had about 25 men on horseback, and they attacked the fort. It took about 1 minute because they basically walked in through the front door. There was a little skirmish going on. I think they actually ended up killing about 5 of the Spanish soldiers. About 16 of them actually surrendered, and a couple of others ran.
Yeah.
And then it was over. And then they formed the West Florida Republic, and they used the banner of a blue flag, solid blue, with a white star. And that's how they came up with the title of the flag was called the Bonnie Blue Flag. And you know, during the American Civil War, there was a song that they sang about the Bonnie Blue Flag. And so anyway, after they captured the fort, they then were going to actually go east and take Mobile. They were going to try and take Mobile, but they didn't have the forces to take that. Mobile was controlled by a much larger force of Spanish soldiers. And
Well, I think after they took this fort, that Spanish, like the guys that ran away, probably let the Spanish people know.
let the cat out of the bag.
Hey, there's some people over here causing a ruckus.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation was it was 1810, the latter part of 1810, and the United States was starting to make a strong show of force in the New Orleans area. And so
the U.S. was like a snowball rolling down the hill, and it was picking up speed, and it was going to take out whoever.
And that's pretty much what happened to the West Florida Republic, because I think it was in December of 1810, the governor of Louisiana at the time, from the U.S. standpoint, was William C.C. Claiborne, and he was a young man, and he had decided that he appreciated the fact that they had that little rebellion, that they set up their own little country. They had a legislature, they had a governor, Fulwar Skipwith, they had a small militia.
Yeah.
But he organized a U.S. Force to come up the Mississippi River, meet with Fulwar Skipwith at the fort and the small militia, and told them that, basically the United States is going to take this over.
Yeah. You either come with us,
or
you're going to die.
And Fulwar Skipwith pretty much decided right then and there that, we're going to stop and quit. And there was a little negotiation that had to take place with some of the militia that was still there. But after a few minutes of discussion, they all acquiesced and recognized that, maybe we ought to become part of the United States.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
They had a full ceremony at the little fort.
Yeah.
And they lowered the Bonnie Blue Flag, and then they raised the American flag. And from that point on, the Florida parishes were always considered part of the United States. But prior to that, they were just, the Louisiana Purchase had never really addressed that particular area of the country.
Yeah.
And so the West Florida Republic is interesting because not only was it the first rebellion of its sort on our continent after our revolution, is that in 1836, Texas revolted against Mexico. And they used
The Bonnie
the
Blue.
Bonnie Blue flag as part of their.
That's where this whole conversation came up, because I was asking about the Texas ability to. So if they're just really upset with the current situation in 2020, how much, or how, are there possibilities of Texas? Because I've heard that like in that was back
That's true.
in 2008. I think I heard that on the interwebs about Texas just pulling back because they were never I don't know, completely into the Union, and so they've always got the ability to just secede from the Union.
Well, their flag still has the Lone Star,
Right.
the lone white star, and the blue, which has its base coming from the Bonnie Blue flag of the West Florida Republic, and I have read. I'm not an expert on Texas law, but my understanding was that when they agreed that they wanted to become part of the United States, that in the agreement there is a written declaration that they had the right to secede if they felt like it was a difference that needed to be made. And so I think Texas has the ability to be independent if they so desire.
Yeah.
I did see something today where the governor of Texas wrote an executive order, and he froze everybody from leaving the state of California. And so it was a joke. Trying to keep the people from California out of Texas because everybody's going to go to Texas.
I know, but everybody's leaving California, which they probably should.
They should, based on the number of syringes I've heard that they have over in San Francisco.
Yes. All right.
Did I finish? Talk about California. Talking about California, the Texas Revolution, based on the Bonnie Blue flag and the One Star, and the West Florida Republic Rebellion. In California experienced the same type of revolution in the 1840s, and they based their revolution on the West Florida Republic Rebellion. And so the West Florida Republic Rebellion actually started a mindset in our country of independence and taking it upon yourself to make sure that you control what your destiny is. And, so how's that for a story?
I think it's awesome. And it's funny how it seemed like 1810, right?
Yeah.
Until what, 1850? When did things settle down? It was like I guess things never really.
I don't think they ever have.
That's what's strange to me, being the age that I am. We've lived through some times that are pretty uneventful. Is that? I mean, that there without the foreign war kind of.
Our lives haven't been turned upside down. We've had incidences like September 11th,
right?
Some other terrorist activity, and some economic aspects. But
I mean, we've had a lot of stuff, but not like a whole.
Our life hasn't been completely destroyed because of a particular event.
Yeah,
we've been lucky in our country. We're probably spoiled because of it. I
would say. But hey, that's not. I mean, that's a good thing.
But yeah, it is a good thing.
There's a reason.
I would like for it to keep. Well,
there's a reason why we're probably spoiled to it. And it's not always on the backs of everybody else.
No. Of course, I'm kind of glad that we're spoiled.
It's not a bad.
I like the lifestyle I have.
Me too.
But I understand you know something about syringes in California.
So, I
Not that you do drugs.
know that. Well, no, because that makes it really sound.
But show your arm. You don't have any. You don't have any marks or what do they call it when you have a?
No,
What do you call it? Lines. In your,
I could get on the. I could get on a scale and show you that. My only drug right now is sugar.
Yeah, well, I think we all fall for that. I baked some cookies this morning with Parker, actually.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun. Christmas.
I know.
That's
I love this time of year.
that's the reason I wore my lumberjack shirt.
Yeah. Well,
That's gonna be part of our cantata. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Sleep all night and I work all day.
I see a guy cleaning the window.
That's part of our full employment effort at the Kip and Rush show.
Yeah.
But tell me what you got there on.
Okay. And the really what brought me to the syringes was that the overdoses in San Francisco surpassed the COVID deaths
Really? Per day?
by a lot. No, I think it was last year, and I mean, I think it was so last year. I think there was 441 people died of drug overdoses, which is just a horrible. I mean, I'm not touched by the opioid pandemic. I don't have anybody that I know that's on it, nor do I have anybody that I know that's OD'd on it. So it's kind of one of those things that whenever it really touches inside your family, I'm sure it's just a catastrophic event. So I don't, we'd laugh a lot. I don't mean to make light of this stuff at all. But that was a 70% increase from 2018. That was 2019. And 2,600 of those potential overdoses were prevented by this Narcan. It's a medication that you spray in your nose to reverse the opioid overdose, which is crazy because that's 2,600 of those people that, if not able to get that spray, like they could have been possible overdoses too.
So you get that like by calling 911 and they spray.
I'm
your
not
nose
really
with
sure.
Narcan?
I don't know anybody that lives in San Francisco either.
Yeah.
And if anybody does, make a comment, because this sounds like a crazy town. Because that's just a lot of that's a lot of people to OD. And so anyway, this year they're on record, they've got 621 already, which was an increase. And so I was really just researching the COVID deaths, because I've heard I'm sure everybody else has heard things about people that are dying from coronavirus. And it seems as though logic is taking a backseat to all this. And there's not a lot of, I don't know, it just doesn't, so many things don't make sense. Sometimes it's the places that had the strictest lockdowns have the highest death rate for whatever reason. Sometimes there's opinions of people I talk to that say keeping everybody isolated, masking, and all this kind of other things is basically just prolonging the process of a virus kind of coming through. That's the herd mentality, I think, approach. And I'm not at all somebody who's gonna give any advice on this, because I don't know.
I wish I did know. The only thing that if you watch the news programs, they make it sound as if you catch it, you're just going to die.
Well, and that's what you said, that I think the last one, and I forgot to bring that up. But so I have a 7-year-old, and that's exactly what she said. She said that I thought that he wanted to come in and claim